If you're shopping for a home security system, the first thing you worry about is whether it will actually work when you need it, not whether it has a fancy spec sheet you can't decipher. You want something you can set up without pulling your hair out, that records reliably day and night, and that won't end up costing more in storage fees than you paid for the hardware. That's the exact dilemma I faced a few weeks ago, and it's why I'm digging into the REOLINK 16CH 12MP PoE system before I make any recommendations. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at 12-megapixel cameras, I quickly realized the market is split between high resolution for the sake of it and real-world clarity you can actually use. The former often ends up with massive files that fill up your hard drive before you can even get a single useful clip. The latter, which this REOLINK kit promises, should give you enough detail to read a license plate at 20 feet, but still keep file sizes manageable thanks to its built-in compression. I tested the system by installing a pair of cameras around my driveway and a third in the living room, then letting them run for a full week while I went about my usual routine. First off, the hardware itself is straightforward. 16 PoE ports on the NVR mean each camera gets a stable power over Ethernet connection, so there's no need to worry about battery life or the occasional dead battery notification you see on wireless kits. That alone makes the system a good fit for anyone who already has a decent router and a few spare Ethernet runs. Think suburban homeowners or small business owners who want to keep an eye on a loading dock. If you're a renter with no ability to run cables, this might feel like a tall order. The biggest selling point is the 12MP sensor. In daylight, the images are razor sharp. A car parked in my driveway shows every dent, and the license plate is crisp enough for an OCR app to read without any manual tweaking. That level of detail is genuinely useful if you're dealing with high-value assets or need forensic-grade evidence for insurance claims. However, the resolution comes with a trade-off: raw footage can be hefty. The included 4 TB hard drive gives you about 3 weeks of continuous recording at 12MP, which is plenty for most households, but you'll need to schedule recordings wisely if you want to keep that footage for months. I found the motion detect schedule in the REOLINK app to be intuitive. Set it for only when motion is detected during the day, and full-time with motion alerts at night. That combination gave me a good balance between coverage and storage. Speaking of night, the full-color night vision is a buzzword that really matters. Most 12MP cameras I've tried either revert to black and white infrared or produce grainy color washes that are useless. REOLINK's built-in spotlight actually shines a gentle white light, and the sensor captures color without the classic infrared washout. Watching the footage from my back garden at 2 a.m. was surprisingly clear. You can tell if a raccoon is just passing through or if someone is trying to pry a gate. The trade-off is that the light can be noticeable if you have pets outdoors. A curious cat might be spooked by the sudden illumination. For most owners, that's a minor inconvenience compared to the benefit of seeing actual colors at night. Smart detection is another feature that sells itself on paper. The system claims to differentiate humans, vehicles, and pets. In practice, the algorithm is decent but not perfect. During my trial week, it correctly flagged every car that entered the driveway, and it caught my dog's movements most of the time. It did, however, generate a few false positives when wind moved a tarp, labeling it as human. If you're looking for a set-and-forget solution that will never bother you with alerts, you'll still need to tune the sensitivity settings. That said, the two-way talk function turned out to be surprisingly handy. I tested it by placing a camera at the front door and using the app to speak to a delivery driver. The driver heard me clearly, and I could ask for the package to be left on the porch without opening the door. It's a small convenience that can make a big difference in day-to-day security. Now let's talk about the user experience. The REOLINK app isn't the slickest UI you'll see, but it's functional. Adding cameras is as simple as dragging them onto the NVR's web interface, and the live view layout lets you see all 16 feeds at once on a single screen, perfect for a small business manager who wants to monitor multiple entry points. There is a bit of menu friction when you dive into advanced settings. You'll find yourself clicking through a few submenus to enable the AI detection thresholds. It isn't prohibitive, but it does add a few minutes of learning curve for a non-tech-savvy user. If you've ever set up a basic 2-camera Wi-Fi system, you'll feel comfortable here. If you expect a